Good morning. I have something that is put on my heart to talk about real quick this morning before I get my little one up for school. Um, Food. The food we eat is so incredibly fucking important. And our little ones are being fed this shit today that is causing serious problems in their brains and their bodies and their actions. And it's our responsibility as parents to figure that out. If you look up what red dyes, mostly red dyes, but artificial dyes do to children, it causes hyperactivity, it causes disconnect, it causes anger, it causes irritability, and then these kids get in trouble for their behavior. And I know firsthand because Jillian cannot have red dye, any dye, artificial, or very much sugar at all. If she gets much sugar, she's off the deep end. And it took me several years, unfortunately, of her life to figure out that the dyes were causing her to be confused, irritated. I mean, we had days for several years of me feeling like a complete failure of a mother, not knowing what to do, not knowing what was going on. I'd come home from work, she would just lose her fucking mind. She hitting violent, screaming, all these things. And that's an intense case because, Jill's an intense person. But the moment I stopped giving her all forms of artificial dyes is the moment she became Jill. She was able to calm down. She was able to, so, figure her feelings from her feelings and emotions. She completely changed. And as parents, our kids act out. What do? They get in trouble. So when we're feeding our kids these dyes, these artificial, chemical, and horrible dyes that are put in almost every food, all the colored cereals, Pop Tart, I mean, all the colored, even food that doesn't look colored. Read the labels. It's unreal what all the artificial dyes are in. But it causes hyperactivity in these little kids. They're shaky. Their brains are like they can't pay attention. Their minds are racing. It's what we're putting in their bodies. It's our responsibility as parents to do that hard thing and look at what is in your kids' food. They're used to easy, quick goldfish and all the bullshit, and it's harming them. It's physically and mentally, emotionally harming them. And then what happens? They're 5 years old, they act out, they say something wrong, they're all confused, they're all crazy. You punish them. So essentially, if you really look at it the right way, they're getting in trouble for what you are choosing to feed them as a parent. There is enough information out there right now that you can figure anything out. And I promise you, if your children are out of control, there are obviously other reasons. But this is where to start. If they just seem like they can't hear you, they can't listen, they can't hold still, all the ADD symptoms, you need to be the parent. And you need to stop doing what's easy. And you need to take away food that has artificial fucking dyes in it and sugar. My daughter can't handle ice cream. She can't handle milk. So she's got several things. Our bodies aren't supposed to have cow milk. We're not cows. We're humans. That's my opinion based on research I've done. So Jill doesn't drink cow's milk and she doesn't get artificial dyes and she rarely gets sugar. I get birthday parties, I bring a cake that is dairy free, that has no artificial dyes. I have all these natural dyes. They're fucking expensive, but they help her. They work. She can eat all the things the other kids can eat. They're still colored pretty. They're just natural dyes. They're a little more expensive, a little more thought. but she doesn't lose her mind. And before I knew it, like I said, I would put her in timeout for not being able to control her mind and her body. She'd be so uncomfortable in her body, she would kick and scream. I have videos that I showed her pediatrician, and that her pediatrician's telling me, it looks like she's in pain. She was. The shit I was putting in her body was hurting her. So we're awakening. What is this food on the shelf? Check it out. And then think about how your children might behave if they ate whole foods, healthy foods. And some of you may say, well, they won't eat it. Well, you're the parent. You're the parent. Whether they eat the same thing every day, the same one good thing they like every day until they're ready to expand, then at least they're eating the same good thing every day. It's better than filling them full of sugar, having them lose control, and then punishing them. It's your fucking fault. When you're a parent, it's your job to research, to find things out, and to act on them. Yeah, it's not fun. It is not fun looking through the labels and finding out what, for me, has dairy in it and dyes and how much sugar. Sucks. Over time, I'm pretty used to it. I know what she can eat and what she can't now. It just took some effort for me for a while. And I really encourage you to look that up if you have children who seem very hyperactive, who seem angry, who seem violent. We are what we eat. Our kids don't stand a chance if we're buying all the colorful bullshit food that they want off the shelf and giving it to them. It is our fault for their behavior. And I had to go on that rant. I'm sorry. It was really heavily on my heart this morning. I got to go get Jill ready for school. Please think about it. Please look it up. Don't take my word for it. If you have a child who is really struggling, if they can't hold still, if they can't look you in the eye, there are other things that cause those symptoms, yes, but please start here. Please start here before medication and other things. You're the parent, do what's best, but I promise you, if you eliminate artificial dyes, most sugars, and even sometimes dairy, you're going to see a different child within a week or two. Mine, it was 3 days. 3 days, and I noticed the difference. Be a parent, please. We need to help our kids. They're our next generation, and we're fucking their minds up with food. With food. So, like I said, don't take my word for it. Go check it out. I got to get going. And I love you, and have a good day. One last thing, one last rant. First of all, this is what I use. It's what we have around here. It's called Simple Truth, and it's all natural food dyes. Same colors. You can make purple, you can make pink, you can do all the things. There's no difference, except there's no chemical. It's all natural. Just spend the extra $3. They're like $7. Spend the extra and help your child out. We feed them enough of this shit for long enough. They get in trouble for long enough. They start hating themselves. They start thinking something's wrong with them. They're confused. They don't understand. And it's us doing it to them. Because it's easier to pick up something quick and easy and colorful and bright that they want off the shelf than to put your foot down and say, I'm sorry, you're going to eat healthy because it's going to make you feel better. In my opinion, it can bring on mental health disorders because their mind is racing from all the fucking garbage we put in their little bodies. Just notice their behavior. And if you have a child that fits this description, they just can't hold still, you're like, what did I just say? And they literally can't repeat it because their mind is just racing, and then they're raging, they're angry, they're hitting things, they're just full of anger, and they say things, they're little, they don't understand, they don't have any control. Do the work. Be the parent. I want to get off this rant. I'm sorry, but it's so close to my heart. I do have parent guilt, Poor Jill. I thought something was so wrong with her when she was like a toddler. I would sit in my room and just cry and, what do? I need to take her to all these things, get all these